I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Hilary.
And this is the Hard Truth Podcast. Hanson.
Howdy.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime. So what made you want to be on the podcast?
Well, I really just want to be, internet famous, and, just get my word out to the world.
There you go.
No, I mean, my dad does YouTube. And
Does he?
He actually has a little channel.
Cool.
It's not, crazy big or anything like that, but it's like, yeah, it's fun to be behind the camera and actually do cool stuff.
Yeah, we enjoy it.
So I was like,
yeah,
sure.
I'm glad you wanted to. I'm glad you wanted to. Thanks for messaging us. I really appreciate it. So I wanted to start off asking you a couple questions. Like, some of the people that watch will know Hanson and most people won't. So married, ever been married? Because I've only known you for like a year, so I don't know all these things.
Never married. I was engaged at one point in time.
Really?
That was when I first moved down to our wonderful armpit of the South.
Yeah. Because you're from up north.
Yes, originally from upstate New York.
Okay.
So
interesting.
No southern accent.
No.
No. And my mother's side of the family is, Texas, Oklahoma, out west. So, like, even on my mother's side, it's not really a big accent or anything like that. But and my dad's side of the family is, European, German, all that kind of stuff. So it's like I kind of had like a little bit of blend of everything. So
I think I'm the same way.
That's why I drink sweet tea like it's water, because I grew up on it.
Yeah, they all think I'm weird because I drink unsweet. I'm not. They say I'm not normal.
I mean.
But I mean, I
I
drank sweet tea until it became to where it was just so much sugar that I just couldn't stand it. Yeah,
but when you
I'm chewing my tea.
Yeah, it's just too.
Yes,
too
but
thick.
if you go north, you're like, oh, we only have raspberry sweet tea,
right? Oh.
Yeah,
when it starts to crystallize, there's too much sugar in the sweet tea.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so you were engaged. How long were you engaged?
Ooh, I didn't do my homework. I would say
that's been a while.
6 months.
Was this when you were? This was right after you moved to South Carolina.
This was before and just as I moved to South Carolina.
So you were engaged in New York.
And how long did you date?
We dated for 3 years.
3 years, and we're engaged for a couple years.
Engaged for I'd say 6 to 8 months, maybe. No, it was probably 6 months.
So how long after you broke up did you move? Was that part of the reason why you moved?
It was part for my understanding.
Sanity.
Because, from my, at least memory and my understanding it was, her entire family was same small town, had same, lived in the same places forever. It was, I wouldn't say not uncomfortable with moving so far away, but it was, it's a big move for somebody who's always lived,
because you moved down here by yourself.
Yeah, moving, from, my grandma's next door and my uncle, my nephew, my cousins are across the street to, they're 14 hours that way.
Wow.
And it's it's kind of a hard pill to swallow, right off the bat.
So would you have moved down here if y'all had gotten married and stayed up there? Or did you really kind of move down here for the change because of the breakup?
I originally moved down here for my job opportunity with the fire department.
Right.
Because the way New York does it is ridiculously overly complicated for no reason. And, the department I'm with, they were the first ones to email me back, just throwing my resume out to whoever. Hey.
But you had already broken off the engagement.
No, we were still together.
Really?
Yep.
So y'all could have possibly moved down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was kind of the plan. Was I moved down here, start working, fire department, whatever.
Find a place to live.
Find a place to live, and she was either going to go to USC for, say, nursing program or something some medical field somewhere.
Yeah, they have a pretty good.
Or go to, what's the one in Charleston?
MUSC?
Yep, MUSC, do all that. And we kind of have a game plan together, and then it's just...
So who broke it off?
She did.
Really?
Yeah. She was like, I initially she was moving down here, and she stayed for like 2 weeks. Like, hey, I have all my. She was in college at the time too, up in New York. She's like, hey, I have to get everything transferred. I have to get everything else, and she just moved down here with like a suit, like 2 or 3 suitcases, and
she had already come down here. You were already down here.
Yeah, she just came down here with me when I had like the most of my life in a box.
Okay.
And she's like, hey, I'm going to, go back, get stuff ready to come back down in like a couple months or whatever. It's like, yeah, no problem. And then, I worked my tail off, got my apartment, got everything ready. And this was January, February. So I went back home, and I want to say like for spring break, April break,
right.
whatever. And between, I want to say February and April, I guess she's had time to process, like, hey, I'm like, everything I've ever known
I was
is
going
now
to say, do you think
be,
the move was detrimental to the relationship?
I think it was real.
But now, had she already applied to USC or
No.
MUSC or anything? No, she hadn't.
No.
She didn't even get that far in her mind. Yeah.
And
so did you, at that point, when you saw there was going to be a problem, did you rethink maybe, since you still had feelings for her, you were still engaged, did you think maybe you need to not make the move? That's a big step to go ahead and make the move. But you were already packed and down here, right?
Yep.
I mean, you found a house? Did you sign a lease?
I signed a lease on my apartment I had, and that was a year lease. And like the cancellation fees and all that kind of stuff, I wasn't really like worried about, because
I mean, you still could have stayed in a relationship with her, obviously,
right, yeah.
and went to visit and all that, and say, "We'll work this stuff out."
Yeah.
But at that
you
point,
do the long distance thing.
yeah. So did y'all just cut it off at that point, or
it was like, I don't know if it was like too much too soon, or like.
We were together for 3 years.
That's what I kind of thought. Like, hey, we kind of,
I'd say if it was like 6 months to a year, then I'd be able to.
kinda like
you were
figured our-
engaged.
we
I mean, it
figured our
wasn't like you were
stuff
just dating and go, "Oh, yeah, see you later."
Yeah, willy
you know?
nilly, like
Yeah, it was nice seeing you.
And then
Does not work for
over the time between, I want to say February and April, she's like, hey, I'm on the fence of this. I'm thinking about blah blah blah, not really wanting to move down right away. I'm like, yeah, no problem, sure, whatever. And then I went back to visit for spring break, whatever, because my mom's a teacher. She had the week off. Like, hey, perfect time to come up and spend time or whatever. And I want to say it was like right in the middle of the week. We were gonna go out to dinner. We were gonna do date night, whatever. And it was like, I'm not feeling it.
She said no?
Yeah.
She just, I mean, it wasn't, so her feelings, she didn't cut her feelings off. It wasn't to the move at that point, it was towards you.
It was, I think it was more of.
You think she was seeing somebody else while you were, because it was a couple months?
I don't know. I kind of don't really want to know.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, maybe in her mind, she's thinking, I'm not moving down there. He's obviously made this move without me. He signed a lease. He's got a job. I just need to entertain the thought of maybe I'm going to be here and I'm going to be by myself and I need to move on.
Right.
But she didn't want to be the one to break up, because Hilary and I both will tell you that a lot of times men will be the last person that will break up in a relationship. It'll be the woman that has to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The man, I don't care how miserable he is, most of the time will stay in the relationship. He might do some extracurricular activities, but he's not going to be the one to break off the relationship.
I was what? Let's see. I'm 31 now, so I would have been
probably mid-20s.
Mid-20s, and she was around the same age. I think she was like a year or two younger than I am, if my memory's
so everything's
correct.
Close. Yeah.
So everything's close, but I think I had gone through like every scenario in my head, because the static in your brain just fires off a million
so when
thoughts
she
at the same
says,
time.
I'm really not feeling it, like, were you looking her in the eye, or were y'all like on the phone, or?
It was, we were at my parents' house, and we were in my bedroom.
Your room. Yeah.
And I think I was sitting at the computer or something, and she was sitting on the bed, and she was on her iPad or doing something,
And she
whatever,
just said,
doing
no, it's just
schoolwork.
I'm
She's
just not
like,
doing anything.
"Can I talk to you about something?" And immediately red flags are going off in my head, going, "Sure," because you don't usually do that.
Yeah.
And then it just was like, "Hey, I don't."
So did she leave at that point after the conversation, and you never saw her again?
Pretty much.
So you don't talk to her.
No.
anymore?
Did y'all have any? I mean, so the rest of the visit, you didn't see her?
I didn't see her, but my mom and my sister, whenever they would go into town, they would do whatever. They would, hey, I saw her at the grocery store. Hey, I saw her at.
It's a very small town?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like you're gonna run into somebody you don't like.
Right.
It's impossible if you don't.
Shit, it's like that here in
Not like
It's
that
like
here.
I see you
We're
across the
passing
street.
people on the highway.
No.
Turn right.
I
Well,
really
you know, kind of thing. Yeah.
am.
No, we have that now, and we're not even in a super small town.
That's true. And at that point, I was, friends with her mother, her father, her brother, her whole family, essentially. Like, hey, I know you've probably heard her side of this whole
Yeah, is there something I'm
situation.
missing?
Is there something I'm missing?
Yeah.
And her mother put it the best way, and this calmed my nerves and really just
Oh, that's good.
really shut down all the craziness that was going
Right.
on in my head. It was like, she's got a lot of growing up to do. I go,
There you go.
yep, there's the nail on top of the
She
head.
wasn't ready for commitment and move, and because she's leaving her family, she's going to a new state.
Who she doesn't know anybody.
Exactly.
She doesn't know.
She's going to be
Anything
dependent on
going on,
you. She
yeah.
doesn't have a job. She doesn't have her school. I mean, did she have? Well, she didn't have a grant or anything at that point because, or was her parents? Her parents might have been paying for her tuition. But either way, she's got to learn how to support herself, or you're going to be supporting her.
Mm-hmm.
So, were you prepared to do that?
I thought I was.
You were prepared.
I thought I was.
So she might have helped you out a little bit.
Right, and she, we had talked about that. Like, hey, I know there's, because I had come down here beforehand with my dad.
Right.
Just scope out the area, scope out
Right,
the job, that
yeah.
kind of stuff. It's like, hey, I know there's, XYZ places you could easily apply to, because she was in, because where we lived was all like hotels and
she worked up
restaurants
there,
and stuff.
correct?
Yeah,
She
she
worked
worked up there, and her family had this huge. They still have this place, this huge lakeside. I guess you call it resort,
Right.
because it had like a whole bunch of like little cabins and a big, main lodge.
Did
and all
she
that
work
kind of stuff.
there?
But she worked there. She worked there.
She had
long.
she had it easy.
Yeah, she had it easy. And, she's like, I know there's a lot of places not exactly like that around here, but there's, there's job
It's
opportunities.
different when you work for
whatever.
your parents.
Exactly. So she's like, yeah, I could do that. She didn't say no, but she did say
So,
yes.
okay, so not only is you're not willing to make that kind of change, but what about the feelings? Like, how do you process that and move on with your life? And you're thinking you're going to marry this person, and then all of a sudden it's done. So how long does it take to get over that?
Oh, good Lord.
And how
Almighty.
long before you were ready to date again?
I think
Because people ask me now, are you still traumatized? Are you still traumatized from your situation?
I wouldn't say.
And are you ready to date? And I'm like, I don't know. I guess if the right guy came along.
It's kind of like a gray area, because I didn't go on another date. I didn't even go on like Tinder or Bumble or any of that kind of stuff
Yeah.
for a good couple of years
Right.
after a whole that thing. So I took
Took your time.
my time to process and get all that wonderful.
Get yourself
Yeah.
settled
They say it
down.
takes half the time that you were with them to get over them.
Right.
Well,
and of course, being
Did you just say that? I'll be dead.
I just said that.
I can say that. And
I'm doomed.
working, with the fire department and all the guys are like, oh, you have to get under somebody to get over somebody. It's
Everybody
like,
says
Everybody
that.
told me that too.
Everyone
it's like,
says that.
yeah,
But
but
yeah, that's a whole
it's
nother.
more
Yeah.
processing and more like.
Did you ever think, hey, I need to leave and go back up there and try to make this work? I'm sure it crossed your mind. at some
It
point.
had crossed my mind, but not to that point. the thought I had was, all right, now I'm all alone and 14 hours away from home and everybody I've ever known. Do I just say, hey, this didn't work out, I'm going back to New York, and just go back to the multiple jobs I had and all that kind of fun stuff, living at home? Or do I just say,
Okay.
the hell with it,
Yeah.
and I've
And
made my move already, and I'm gonna
ride this out.
right
Yeah.
and make it work.
Yeah,
So
make it work.
it was a lot of like back and forth, like arguing myself. Like if I go back to New York,
A
what
lot of
am I
soul
gonna
searching.
do?
A lot of soul searching.
And
See, like for me, like I had a year because you have to wait like a year in South Carolina, for your divorce and stuff. You have to be separated. So like the whole time you're like thinking, what's this going to be like when I get divorced? And I didn't think about dating and things like that.
that's like the last thing on your mind was, I want to grab somebody else.
I'm thinking about
deal
where
with
am I
all
going to
their
live?
bullshit.
Am I safe? How am I going to function from now on? What is my life going to be like now? And all that kind of stuff. And I don't have time for any of the other stuff. But for you, it's different because you have a relationship, and technically, unless there's something that she's not telling us, you still could have had a relationship. But it just, would you have had to have come home, and would have things went back to normal, or would she still have been like, I've been seeing this other guy and maybe, you don't know.
I don't know.
And it's probably best that you don't know.
But your family still lives there?
Yes.
Okay, so they obviously still see her since you said it's a small town.
Well, as I haven't asked them if they've seen her, but they haven't.
They don't
Volunteered
mention
it.
it.
Right? Yeah, they don't mention. They don't mention me like, hey, we saw her at.
And that's a good thing, because
And
that's
they're-
kind of like what Hilary and I were talking about. There's certain people, like, you just wish they would kind of like leave you alone and get out of your life, and they tend to interject in your day-to-day life and keep putting drama and things like that, where
just keep stirring the pot.
stirring the pot, where you'd like, when you have a break, it obviously was hard for her. You don't want that visual every day and that contact all the time.
It's almost every day.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, hey, it's a common reminder
So they're not.
Guess what you fucked up.
Yeah, and
It's
your parents
Yeah.
are being very kind, thinking about your feelings, not doing that,
Right.
whether they see her or not. And hell, they may see her and she's married and has kids now, or could be, still single, but they don't tell you that way. You don't have to worry about the what ifs and all that. Okay, so where are you at now? Are you dating?
No.
Are you open to dating?
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Well,
That was not very promising.
Wow. So
it's a lot easier not what's the word I'm looking for?
Not trying? I did the dating app for like 24 hours, and I was supposed to do it for 7 days just for the podcast. I made it literally 24 hours is all I could stand.
Isn't it a cesspool?
Oh, it's horrific.
It was horrific.
It's a lot. I think it's a lot easier, at least for me, to be like, I don't have to worry about somebody else's agenda or somebody else's.
I think if something's supposed to
opinions or
happen,
thoughts
it
or
just
whatever.
will happen.
Right.
I think you shouldn't work so hard at it.
Right. Like it's like
I mean, I think I could live the rest of my life and be perfectly fine.
it's like you're
I'm good.
it's like you're trying to put a square peg in a round hole. It's like the more you force it, the more it's not going to fit.
Yeah, and the worse it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your life just becomes complicated. So obviously you're open to it. You said you did or did not try the dating sites.
I
You
have tried.
But you waited like a couple years before you tried them, and
Yes.
then how long did you last? Are you still on there now?
I'm kind of on them still.
You're on a
kind
couple of
sort of. But the whole like Tinder thing is, you have to pay to see who likes you and see blah blah blah. It's like, I'm not throwing my money away just to have somebody.
So what happens if you join it and you don't pay?
You get notifications like, hey, somebody likes you, or hey,
Right.
somebody likes this picture, but you can't see
Who they are?
who or what, or what
So
happens.
So what would have to happen then? They would have to message you and send you a picture?
No.
How does that work if you can't see it? What's the purpose? They can just message you?
You can tell we're not on Tinder.
Yeah. There was a girl at work that would come in. This is how this went. There was a young girl at work. She'd come in there with her phone, and she was like, "Look at these guys." And I'm like, she's like, "Don't go to the left. Don't go to the right. Don't go to the right." And I'm like, "Do I'm supposed to go to the left?" And she's like, "Go to the left." And I was like, "Okay." And she goes, "No, he was a good one." And I was like, "Okay, I don't get it." So apparently, no is to the left. yeses to the right.
Yep.
And then I started seeing people that I knew that were married. And then I was like, I'm out. I'm out. I was like, don't you know them? Aren't you kind of maybe related? No, I'm out. So.
And then you go up if you super like them. So.
Oh, now I didn't know about the up.
Yeah, you go.
Oh my gosh.
You go up. That's a super like, and that makes your.
Oh, you're getting married.
Yeah. Well, that's making like, hey, I'm really into you, and hey, I think you're
You're
cats
awesome.
me out,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And that's supposed to like
Just
stand
me
out.
out, yeah.
You're supposed to stand out from everybody else.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, like
But,
$100
like,
bucks.
I had-
$100 would make stand out.
Yeah.
Let me see that cash real quick.
I think Hillary's asking $500, not $5.
Let me see your
500.
fake pics.
Application fee, $500.
Yeah, no, that's the application fee.
Sure.
And I said it was lowballing, so yeah.
So are you getting any? How's that work? Like I
Anything
said,
out of it?
like you said, you can't see them.
Mm-hmm.
They're swiping. So then, if you swipe, can you see them to match? You're gambling because you can't see them.
Right. If I'm on the app and I'm swiping through whoever, and if I miraculously swipe yes on that person,
So you can physically see them
Yes.
before somebody puts that they like you. Like if somebody were to swipe for you, then you wouldn't see them.
yes.
But you can actually see everybody on the app and decide whether you want to swipe.
Right. And then if we
That makes it
if we
easier.
both swiped yes, then it's match or whatever.
So there's nobody that's like actually come up and you've been like, oh wow, I might pay for this. No,
Not yet.
Yeah, not really.
thing.
Now, how many apps are you on?
2.
Okay.
Well,
Tinder and Bumble?
yes.
Okay. Bumble was the one that I was on.
But the women have to talk to you on Bumble, right?
Yes.
See, that was so freaking hard for me.
Really?
Yes, because
How?
She
because
doesn't want to. She doesn't
so
want
I'm
to.
old fashioned, and because of my situation in my previous relationship, like I'm not gonna chase a man. That's just not me. And I want something different this time. I want to know that somebody wants to be me or wants to spend time with me. And so they need to put effort in. Unfortunately, I've run across men that say that's what they want to. So we're not going to be compatible because I'm not going to babysit. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to babysit and do everything for a person again. I want somebody to do something for me.
Mhm.
And they have to want to do something for me. And I understand.
Proactive now.
And I understand there's men, like I said, that's going through the same thing as me, and they have bad relationships, and they want somebody to. Yeah, I'm not going to be the one messaging you first. I'm not going to say good morning, handsome. Don't worry about that. You're not going to get that from me. You're not going to get that from me. But so that was hard for me. So like, I decided for the podcast I would pick like 4 or 5 guys, and so they all had swiped, for me as a match. So I just picked 4 or 5 based on weird scenarios. One, I picked an older man. One, I picked a younger man. One, I picked one because of his dog was an American Bulldog. And I had one and I loved him and I wanted to talk to him about his dog. And then, and then another
Can I
one.
pet that dog?
I
Can I pet that dog?
I'm dying. So, but I picked them for different reasons, And then, lo and behold, I did not know this. It goes, you have to message them. And I'm like, oh,
The hell with that.
I'm like, I'm out. But I'm like, I've already paid $25 for like 7 days. And I'm like, how am I going to talk about this if I don't talk to anybody? And so I literally had to message each one of them. And that was the hardest thing in my life.
Because you don't know what to say.
Hey,
Hi.
Yeah.
I see you're single. I'm single too.
So, yeah. And so I didn't
What a
want,
coincidence.
and obviously, and I didn't even want a relationship with them, but I was open to maybe going out with one of them if they weren't creepy or anything like that.
So
But
wait, you don't use pickup lines?
I don't even know what those are.
Oh my
She wants them to pick her
Lanta.
up. She wants them to pick her up. She's not.
Yeah, I don't know any pickup lines. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to be saying "Good morning, handsome." You're not gonna get that from me. I can just forget that shit. So, anyway,
Sometimes pickup lines are hilarious.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're
Maybe.
horrific.
maybe you should. Maybe we should have a conversation. Hanson, by the way, Hanson is one of the guys that's in our group that hangs out with us with our Mustangs and stuff like that. So I don't see him as often as I do a lot of the core group because you don't even live in the same town as everybody else. You're about an hour. You're an hour north, maybe. I figured you got about a 2 hour ride.
Southeast. It was like an hour
Southeast.
45. Here.
Okay, I figured it was close to 2 hours because I told her that. I said he's not really in the exact, but he hangs out with us, goes to like Ponies and Smokies, Mustang Week, and all that stuff with us. So, but we've not really talked about these kind of things. So
no, because it's usually been like a house full of people or a cabin full of people.
You got like 20 people around. It's like, hey, how you doing? You know,
we're doing
kind of
our
thing.
own.
So you're gonna have to help me with pickup lines. I'll try that just to be funny because I'm now starting to be a little shitbird about the whole deal because I have people that message me and just say the craziest shit, and I know Hilary does too. So I'll try something different. Now I'm a little more open to that. But now when I did Bumble not too long ago, that was awkward. That was really, really awkward. Yeah. So have you had any dates off of that? Either one of those? No, nothing.
I know I have like 20 some odd likes on my Tinders. Just
so you've talked to a couple of people off of there.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and it's always been like 3 or 4 days of, hey, you know what you're doing, blah blah blah. And
what do you do? Just trying to get the no stage, and then it kind of just tapers off. So no dates from that whatsoever. Okay. So what about you mentioned being a firefighter? What about at the firehouse? Any women firefighters?
Look.
That would be no.
No.
Okay. So
that is a no.
So have you dated outside of the dating apps? How long have you been? How long have you lived in South Carolina?
I have lived in South Carolina for 7 years and some change. Let's see, January.
And no serious relationships since you've been here. Halfway, kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of.
I felt like I was getting an Ian answer coming.
Well, that would lead me to my first story. I guess.
Okay.
First
so we're going to open the floor up and let you tell us some stories. Now, this is the first woman that you dated after you moved down here, and you said it was after 2 years,
yes. Correct?
So start out letting us know how you met her and all that kind of stuff, and then go from there.
Well, coincidentally, it was very serendipitous, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Okay.
We were doing a lake cruise with the old Mustang group, the one that was before the group that we're currently in now.
Yeah, I heard everything kind of was new about the time I joined. It was they kind of had a change up of people.
I don't believe it exists anymore online, but I'm not 100% sure. So
yeah,
I won't say the name.
Yeah, I heard some stories. It was kind of like a club and a group, and we're just kind of like a crew of people that hang out that are friends.
Yeah, it says,
hey,
want to go for a beer? Absolutely.
Yeah, we're like friends that are family now, which is a whole lot better than what I heard in the past. So, okay, so y'all were in that kind of scenario. Okay.
So we were at the lake in the capital.
Okay.
And we were just like, I think we were taking like sunset pictures or doing whatever, just hanging out. And I had Dax with me. He was maybe like only like 2 or 3 years old. He was like a little, still puppy age, and just not paying attention to nothing, not really paying attention nowhere. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this little girl and this pit bull come sprinting up the hill, up from the lake, and I go, I wonder why she's running. Oh well. And not 30 seconds later, this little pit puppy comes up around the side, and Dex, you have a little friend. And then I turn, and it's like, oh, hi, how are you? And the first question she asked was, what's with all the cars? What are you guys doing? It's like, oh, we're just car club hanging out, doing whatever. We're about to go, drive the loop around the lake. Oh, that sounds awesome. Can I come? Sure. Okay.
So y'all were right there at the landing.
Yeah.
Where we kind of go. Okay.
Yeah. And I can't remember who was running the whole thing, but it was like, yeah, just get in line when we pull out.
I think she was asking to ride with you.
Exactly. So
you didn't get that at the time.
I don't think you didn't. Yeah, I was going to say, who's the naive one now? You know?
Oh, I do not pick up hints that well.
Yeah.
I need like a sign bashing me in the head.
Apparently I'm that way too. I've had some guys messaging me this week telling me things that I was shocked. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Well, this is just like Carmen. Carmen said the same thing on the back of the Declaration.
Yeah, she said she needs a sign. She said
Nicolas Cage.
And it needs to be Nicolas Cage and the Declaration, and just write it on there. Just tell me what you're looking for, and
Just pay attention.
Okay, so she wanted to go on the cruise with everybody.
She came along with the cruise.
Did she ride with you?
No, she had her own. I think
vehicle?
She was at a F-150. Yeah, she was in a truck. and she follows along the loop, blah blah blah. And
Was this mostly Mustangs back then too, or you had,
this was mostly Mustangs at the time,
or at least muscle cars? Okay,
I think there was somebody with
probably Camaro or something.
I can't remember. Who
Probably
it was.
with Matt.
It very well could be.
Yeah.
I don't really.
I'm just throwing that out there, Matt.
Sorry. And we finished the lake loop, and we all were group chatting, whatever. It's like, hey, let's go to Steel Hands. Like, go, okay. We all go to Steel Hands, and she's still following us along, right along the way, follows the Steel Hands, and we all park up, and she gets she walks over to us, like, yeah, that was a great cruise, whatever, it's awesome. Now what? It's like, here, chilling, hanging out, because Steel Hands, is pet friendly. It's like, hey, we're here, because dogs can run around, do whatever. It's, that's great. And I had to work the next day, so I couldn't stay out very long.
Right.
And got burger, beer, hung out, listened to the live music, just
Obviously,
small.
she sat with you. And
Yeah,
had
she
small
sat
talk
with
and
us,
all that. And you had your dog. She had her dog.
Yep. And they were out running around, terrorizing everybody else. Oh my God, it's a pit bull. He'll lick you to death. He won't kill you. Just like all pit bulls are just babies or pushovers. And it's like, I had to hey, I gotta leave. I gotta get out of here. And hey, by the way, before I leave, can I get your number real quick? Yeah. So plug the phone, got all the information. It's like, hey.
She asked or you asked?
I asked.
Oh,
I didn't get that impression. I thought you said, oh, by the way, before you leave, she's asking you for your number. You asked her.
Yes.
So were y'all close in age?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to say she was like a year or two younger. Old enough to drink, but she wasn't. I don't think she was my exact age at the time.
Okay. Compatible. Okay.
Compatible, yeah.
Okay.
And it was a whole, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks of just, hey, what are you doing today? Oh, well, she works for the, let's see, where is county? She works for the neighboring county. She works for EMS.
Okay.
So she's kind of in the same career field, doing saving lives and whatnot. And we don't talk about that. Talk about, supervisors and regular patients who are a pain in the butt and all that fun stuff. And it's like, hey, what are you doing Friday night? I'm off. Nothing. What are you doing? I don't know. I know this cool place I think it was in downtown. Hey, you want to go get dinner? Get a bite to eat? Do whatever? Sure. So we went up, had dinner, cool, hung out. Nothing really wild, crazy happened or anything like that. And I think it was 5 or 6 or so those dates or whatever. We go to the dog park.
So you went out several times.
Several times.
Okay.
And we were talking about past relationships, past what had gone on in our lives and whatnot. She's like, yeah, I just got out of a long relationship with an abusive person who was real dirtbag, real piece of junk, whatever. It's like, yeah, no problem. I'm not trying to get married, right off the rip or anything like that. So.
Did you tell her about your situation?
Yep.
Okay.
So she's like, yeah, I kind of can see why moving from all the way up there to all the way down here is kind of a culture shock to people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, you didn't do anything really wrong. It's just, some people are just not ready to dive off the deep end.
I mean, you might have dodged a bullet because I'll be honest with you, and Hilary knows this about me. I say it over and over and over. If I'm in love with you enough to be engaged to you, to marry you, I'm willing to fucking live in a tent with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not, so she wasn't willing to move down here to even give it a try. So I'm not saying that it wouldn't have worked up here, but a lot of times people change when the scenario changes. So you just don't know what you're going to get. So you may have dodged a bullet.
Yeah. Going out of your comfort zone to
people
a
change.
wild frontier, people
change.
People
change. You never know.
And this is where it gets.
So this was 5 or 6 dates in.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is really gets good. So
okay.
We go to what's a good way to put this?
Oh dear. Is this something kinky or just?
It can be if you really want to get that way. We went to a
strip club.
No, it was a LGBTQ plus bar. It's
Okay.
downtown.
Okay. I probably
So-
know the one that, I mean, is that one of the ones we've gone to?
I think
I
so.
don't think you were with us, but we've
No.
gone to one. We've gone, the one has the comedy shows and stuff. It's
Mhm.
right down there. What is it? Is it called the Art Bar
Yeah,
or
it's the
something?
art bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
We went there.
Yeah,
It's
I've
like,
been there.
cool, okay. I've gone there with
I just-
other guys from the car clubs. or
Yeah, I'll
whatever,
say I've
but
been with a lot of the guys and the girls there. I just don't think you were. I don't think you were there the 2 or 3 times that I've been.
No.
Yeah.
No, I've always gone with, can I say his name? No, probably
I
not.
don't think. No, I mean you're not saying anything negative about it. So
I've gone there with Riley. I've
Yeah.
gone there with,
Yeah.
Slim and all those guys,
Yeah.
whatever. Just because it's a watering hole and they got good
Yeah.
beer. Cool, whatever.
It's a cute little spot. I mean, and I'll be honest. Like the last time we were there, we were watching some of the comedy, and one of the acts we just felt bad. Yeah, and then we were like, let's leave because we don't want to laugh or be ugly. Laughing about the fact that it was so horrible.
Yeah, it's like,
And we didn't want to be that way. So,
this
but
guy
I mean,
sucks.
it was still a good. Yeah, we wasn't gonna be ugly. So, but I mean, it's right there in the downtown area, and it's just another place to go, and it was a good time. I mean, I've been a couple times, so.
So what happened?
So you took her there.
We went there, and they had, surprise, surprise, they had I guess it was a drag event or whatever.
Oh, that would be cool.
Fun.
That would be
And-
cool. I'm pretty open minded.
I'm very open-minded, and I thought it was fun. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
would have thought that was
Watching somebody with a Santa Claus beard and tattoos up and down their arms singing Mariah Carey at the top of their lungs
Oh, I would have.
in
Yeah.
full garb was like, this is
That's
great.
cool. Yeah, no,
this is entertainment.
This would have been fun. Yeah.
And it's like, had a lot of fun, had a blast, whatever. It's like usually when I take guys to events like this, they're like, "Oh, this is awful," blah blah. Like,
So
you're like,
so
go
she
with the
picked the place, or you picked the place?
She picked it. She's
So
like,
she lived in that town,
yes.
and of course you were still. Were you living where you live now, which
No.
is good? No, okay.
I live with the department where I'm
But
at.
she still picked the place. So
Yes.
she picked the place.
She's
and
like, "Do you know-"
and you enjoyed it.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
do you know Art Bar? Like, yeah, I've been there a couple times.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go tonight.
Okay.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah.
And like the next week or so later, it's like, hey, there's another show going on. It's a couple blocks down from the Art Bar. It's like on that street
Yeah,
with
there's a
all
lot of
the bars and
nightlife down
whatnot.
there. Yeah.
It's like, have you ever been to that one? It's like, no. It's like, cool. Is it cool if I bring like 3 or 4 of my other friends? Sure. Whatever. If you're cool with them, I'm cool with them.
So she's bringing the friends, or you're bringing the
She's
friends?
bringing friends.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So we get there and, same wild and craziness, people singing.
Oh, dear.
And then that was when, I think it was when Les Miserables was real
Mhm.
popular. So it's like all that stuff's like, cool, whatever. And this one friend of hers, she was around like our age or whatever. And I think there was some unfinished business between the two of them,
Oh dear.
and they were, I wouldn't say bickering, but they would go back and forth with like, "Oh, I thought that was really cool." It's like, "Oh, I thought he was real
Is
trashy."
this
or
two
whatever.
females, or
Yes.
Okay.
Two girls,
Okay.
and she had a bit too much to drink. And she had gotten to the point where she wasn't like rambunctiously loud or anything, but she was like, "So when you went out with me, why did XYZ not work out? Blah 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 blah." And I looked back and forth, go,
Wait a minute, the 2 women?
"Uh-huh."
And she said, when you went out with me.
When she went out with her,
So she's bisexual.
yeah.
I'm in there now.
And I'm literally standing in the middle between the two going, "Wait a minute, what? How did this happen?" And
I feel a threesome coming on.
and the fourth friend who
They were looking for a third person.
not really.
Yeah.
And she, they were just like, "Hey, can we not talk about that like here in public?" Blah blah blah.
That's what she was saying to her.
That's when the girl that I went
Because
with
it was
said to her,
it was starting to become, it was getting awkward.
right. And she's like, "If you really want to talk about it, let's go outside." Blah blah blah. She's like, "Okay." So they went outside, and of course, my curious mind wouldn't leave none alone. It's like, do I want to go outside and see
Sure
what's going
you
on?
do.
Or do I just want to stay inside and be
Yeah, I want to go
absolutely
outside and
oblivious?
see
No,
what's
I want
going
to go
on.
outside.
You want to go outside.
So I went outside, and it went from talking about what had went on between the two to screaming.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were gonna say they were kissing.
It's getting. Don't worry, it's getting there. So it went to screaming about what had happened between the two of them, to the point where I picked up her friend, up and away from her because she was clawing for eyes and clawing for hair.
Wow.
To the point where, like, nope, I'm not going to jail tonight. No. You go over here. You calm the hell down. And I don't know this girl. I mean, she weighs like as much as my legs do. She's a tiny little thing. Okay. And we're like, hey, we're here to have fun. We're not here to drum shit up. Blah, blah, blah. Either figure it out or you can get an Uber and go home. And I guess she got an Uber and went home because I didn't see her for the rest of the night.
Okay.
So
far, so good.
So far, so good. So we finish off the night, and I'm giving her a ride back to her apartment. And there was a good, 10 minutes of just awkward silence between me and her, just like...
In the car,
just like, I don't want to say anything, but man, do I want to ask it.
You wanted to ask a bunch of questions.
I want to ask all the questions. And she finally said, so yeah, about that. She's one of my exes. Like, yeah,
Did she bring all of them with her?
No, they were not all of her exes.
Okay.
Thank God.
Thank God. And she was like, yeah, I mean, we ended shit, on good terms, and she's still my friend, but she's the jealous type. She doesn't like people being like...
So why did she
like
invite her? Does she hang out with her on a regular basis?
I think she did at that time.
Yeah,
I think after that, it kind of went...
Yeah, I think that's what it kind of sounded like.
And it's like, so, I didn't realize you played both fields. She goes, well, about that. I'm not necessarily attracted to what's on the outside. I'm more attracted to what's on the inside. It's like, oh, so you're going to cut me open and look at all my organs? Or what are you talking about? She's like, no, it's... What is it? Pan something?
Pansexual.
Yes, that.
What?
Yeah.
This is a new one for me.
So, it's like, I'm cool with that.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought the girl went to the house and was waiting on me. I thought that was something else coming.
I'm not gonna lie. That thought was in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Like
I thought maybe they were. Until you told me they were screaming. I thought maybe they were a couple and they were like looking for a man for a threesome. I mean,
that would have made shit a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff I've heard in the last year, that would not have surprised me. But when you said they were screaming at each other, I was like, okay, she's bisexual. They had a relationship. This is not going well.
Yeah. So, the thought in the back of my mind was, if this girl is crazy enough to, obviously they were a couple, so she knows where she lives. So is she gonna come out of the bushes and just like stab me in the back of the head, or what's gonna happen? Because bitches be crazy.
Yeah, I think the T-shirt that Tammy had on, bitches be tripping. Yeah, bitches be tripping.
And we're like, hey, granted, with all the drama that's going on, I still had fun. I hope you're okay. Just let me know if she tries to kick down the door and anything.
Yeah,
call cops.
You need any help or something.
You need any help? Let me know. She's like, yeah, no problem. And that was like another 2 weeks later. We go, hey, let's go.
So y'all didn't talk for about 2 weeks, or was it just
it was just
chit chat?
It was chit chat. It wasn't like anything crazy.
You trying to regroup?
Yeah. I need time to recover after that night. And we would go to like Tropical Smoothie, get like a drink or a sandwich or whatever, just like little like hangout things, whatever.
Try to rebuild that friendship.
Yeah, kind of be like, am I gonna get sideswiped again at this next outing, or what the hell? So we went to, and now I'm seeing a trend of like all the places she wants to go and places and things she wants to do, and I don't care.
Yeah.
Like you can go to the strip club, do whatever. I don't mind nothing. Just don't force me to do anything.
That's right.
Don't put me on the pole, because even the video from Mustang Week, for those who know and for those who don't know, Retro Night Even that video of me
That was
on the stage.
not the last year. That was the year before.
It was the year
correct?
before,
Okay,
yes.
I missed that one.
Like,
But I did see a video.
even that was kind of pushing it. But there was lots of liquid courage.
Yeah, I understand.
So one of the last
Yeah, we're gonna have to get a bartender.
one of the last dates, I guess you could call it, was going to another progressive area, bar, whatever, restaurant. And I picked her up from her place. We drove together, just like, hey, what do you want to do tonight? Oh, I just want to go to XYZ place and, get food, get drink, whatever, hang out. It's a real chill place. Yeah. Okay, cool. It's in the same area as
Downtown,
bar,
so it was downtown, yeah.
It's always downtown stuff. And we get there, and it's kind of like this lofty bar, kind of. I want to say it's like a hole in the wall, but it's kind of like if you don't know what it is, you'll walk right by it.
Right. That's what I like about Columbia. There's some.
It's like speakeasies.
Yeah,
What's the password?
There's a lot of little cool places that you wouldn't even know about unless one of y'all take me.
Right.
I'm
It's like, hey, you know this place?
That's why whenever I come over there, I love it because y'all usually take me somewhere different. But sometimes we go to the same places, and I'm thinking we should go somewhere different because there's just so many places to check out. It's just completely different than this town.
Because it's one night you can go to let's go to Savage, or let's go to blah blah blah. It's like, hey, I know this real cool hole in the wall that nobody goes to.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Okay, am I gonna get stabbed, or is this gonna be a fun night? Who knows? And I think we had finished dinner and we were listening to the band play, whatever, people were dancing, whatever. And she goes, What? Am I gonna die? What? She goes, what? You know who that is? And let's look over, like, I don't know anybody here. It's like, that was my high school bully back in 10th grade or whatever. And she was this teeny tiny little girl. And this was, I want to say this was like August or September, summer. Beanie, freaking tank top, ripped jeans, okay. Going for a gothic, tomboy, whatever look. Cool. She's like, I'm going to go talk to her. I'm like, do you really want to go talk to her? Because if she was your bully, I kind of don't think you want to stir any of that back up. And she's like, no, I want to go talk to her. Like, okay. And then I remind myself, wait a minute, I'm in a gay bar and this girl walked in here alone.
Here we go
again. And I'm minding my own P's and Q's because that's her business and it's her life, whatever. I don't want to get
hopefully they get along a little bit better than last time.
Oh boy.
Maybe a little bit too good.
Yeah, and I'm not paying much attention. I see, okay, they're talking, whatever. Oh, why are you pushing her up against the wall? Oh, why is your tongue down her throat? What the hell is going on?
Oh, Lord, that's not where I thought that was
going. And I'm frantically turning around like, is anybody else looking at this, or am I the only one seeing this? And
you're striking out in the women's department.
Apparently. And this next table, I guess, had caught a glimpse and was looking, and they see me tuck my head over, and I go, don't look! I go, she came in here with me! What are you talking about? And I'm just sitting there, just flabbergasted, of going,
here we go again.
So she's your bully, and
making it.
Where did this come from? And it was getting, I wouldn't say rated, X-rated or anything like that, but it was hot and heavy,
you sure can pick up.
And I think it was after 5 or so minutes of tongue sucking going on where I go, I'm just gonna mosey on out here because I'm clearly, an afterthought at this point. So I walk out. As I'm walking out, I just hear out of my ears everywhere I go, oh my God, are you seeing those girls? Oh my God, they're going crazy.
Everybody
It's
was
like,
talking about it.
yeah, sure, cool, whatever. So I step it out, and I was out there for God knows how long, like a half hour or whatever.
Oh, you just went outside.
I went outside.
Oh,
man.
My ass would have been halfway back to home by then.
Yeah, I would've left that.
And
Yeah, you're more patient than I am.
well, I didn't want to leave her.
Oh, she rode with
She
you.
rode with me.
Oh, honey,
so
she could have rode home with her.
Yeah.
She was riding on her, that's for sure. So
Wow.
You're still trying to be the gentleman. Okay.
So I go back in, I was getting a refill or whatever, and she's sitting at the table we were sitting at again.
Like nothing had happened.
Like nothing had happened. It's like, oh, okay. So I walked back in, sat back down. Where did you go? Oh, I went to the bathroom.
That's what she. Oh no, that's
No,
what
no,
she
that's
asked
what-
you.
yeah,
That's
so
what
she asked me.
you, yeah.
It's like, no, I just went to the bathroom.
No, I didn't
that's all.
see anything.
I
else
didn't
in the
see
bathroom.
anything at all happening over there by the front door. Good God. And the bully walked by. Like, hey, walked over to the bar, got a drink, and I go, so she's your bully. What's she doing here? And she turned and looked at me and was like, I asked myself the same question why she was here.
Did
And
she
then-
invite her?
No. So the bully used to torment this girl back in school of being pansexual, being different,
Right.
being whatever, just like outrageously
and
bullied.
she was
Yeah.
as well, but didn't want to be called out. So they always pick on somebody else to
Right.
draw the
Draw
attention
attention to
away from
somebody else.
them. Yeah, away from them.
And I had the same question. So she walked over to her bully and just asked, what are you doing here? And I guess the bully's answer was sufficient enough to saying, I think I belong here, or something along those lines.
Right.
And like, you want to make out right now? And they said,
In front of
Yep.
everybody.
Wow.
You'd have thought they'd at least ask each other if they wanted to go to the bathroom or something. Okay.
Sure.
So how did that situation end up?
That ended up with
I'm assuming you took her home and you did not see her again?
kind of, sort of.
Oh, you're
So
a glutton for punishment.
yes, I am. So the ending of that was, I took her back home. Talked about, hey, everything cool, everything copacetic, whatever. I had
He uses
fun.
words that I use. That's what's scary. He's an old soul.
I was born like 30 years too late. I miss the 70s, man. I gotta get back the throw. And it's like, yeah, everything's cool, everything's fine. Hey, I kind of have, like, not like a weird like headspace or anything like that. She's like, hey, I kind of need some thought, kind of need some time for myself to think about things. And we weren't like seriously dating or
Right.
anything. We were just hanging out, really.
Yeah.
It's like, sure.
You had not made any plans or
Right,
anything
yeah.
like that, or called each other as being in a relationship or anything
Right.
like
Yeah,
that.
we weren't, exclusive
Yeah.
by any means.
Yeah.
Apparently by any means. And it's like, yeah, take, however long you need, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she does, on the side of doing her EMT, EMT work, whatever, she races dirt bikes. She does motocross racing or
Right.
whatever. So she goes around the state and races whatever. It's like, hey, I have, and this was like 2 or so weeks afterwards, after all of that happened. Like, hey, I have a race up in Michigan. I'm going to go up there.
Oh, she
and-
travels.
Yeah,
she
she
doesn't just do
travels.
it
She
around
does all
South
this
Carolina.
stuff.
She goes
No,
out of
she
state.
goes everywhere.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, cool, have fun, blah, 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 don't break a leg, whatever. And that was a weekend thing. It's like, hey, come back to South Carolina, we got second in the women's final, whatever. Cool, yeah, that's awesome. So, I've had a lot of time to think about this, and of course this is over text, because
Who's saying this? Her
this
or
is her.
you?
This is
Okay.
her. Like, I've had a lot of time to think about this, and I'm not really, into you. I mean, you're a great person, you're, fantastic, blah, 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 whatever. But I'm not, like, into you.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, but doesn't really break my heart, because...
I wasn't really into you either.
After the first,
Fiasco.
fiasco, was like, what have I got myself into?
Yeah.
So
You were questioning why you were even there.
yeah, I was questioning things. And
She was just giving you an out.
yeah, she's like, so
She actually gave you two.
she gave me 2. it's like, yeah, I'm, just trying to like figure my own way, blah blah blah. Like still be friends, and I'm still like Facebook friends with her or whatever throughout this whole
But
time.
y'all never went out again?
Yeah, no. It's like, no,
We're good.
I'm good, whatever. And then I want to say like a year or two ago, she moved to Chicago or moved out to like northern Illinois, whatever.
Right.
And she has a fiance, and
Fiance as in female or male?
Female.
Female.
So she has a girlfriend, and they're engaged, whatever.
Did she?
Cool. Whatever.
Did she have to meet the person down here, or did she meet them up there?
I want to say she met her girlfriend at a race. I don't know which race.
Okay.
So I guess they got.
So let me play devil's advocate here. How far did the relationship go with you before you realized there was not going to be a relationship?
I want to say it was like halfway.
Halfway.
Kind of. It was a couple like months in, but it was like holding hands and like, kissing. Like, yeah, that's it. It never flourished into anything.
Anything else? You just didn't really feel it. Chemistry wasn't there.
Well, that and her whole thing was like, I just got out of a 4-year relationship with an abusive.
Yeah, obviously you don't want to push somebody,
right? Yeah, like,
and then you had all these weird signs at the bars and all this stuff going on. So, Lord have mercy, bless your heart. You're more tolerant than I would have been. That first one, that would have been an it for me.
I mean, we all have our flaws, and we all have our own
tolerance levels,
whatever going on.
I mean, like
it's like I can put up with a good amount of stuff, but there's a line that I.
Well, and you weren't in a relationship, so it's no different than like just going to hang out and just having like a weird time with friends. There's no commitment, so it's not.
Yeah.
You know.
Nobody's expecting anything out of it.
Exactly.
It's just like, hey, we're just chilling and vibing out and sucking on strangers' faces off in the corner.
I'm not going to lie. I thought the girl was going to show up at the house, and I thought there was going to be some expectations on your end, but apparently not. So
I don't think she knows what pansexual is. I think she's a lesbian.
I think she is too.
I think it went from I'm pansexual to I play for the other team.
Yes,
that's true. What I'm thinking too. But maybe she had dated men in the past and
nothing ever worked out.
Yeah, nothing ever worked out. So she
but
thought,
maybe your vibe giving off was like, maybe she's like, okay, well maybe I'll try again.
I had learned, I want to say fairly recently, but it was like when she got engaged or whatever up in Illinois. It's like, hey, congratulations, blah blah blah. It's like, and we got talking about something relationship wise, like, oh, I never did tell you about my ex before meeting you was a woman. Yeah, it was a girl.
The abuser was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
That is so crazy.
I wonder if it was the girl from the first bar that was yelling at her.
I bet
it was.
We can play connect the dots, but I'm not. I
mean, it's possible if she was screaming at her.
It's possible, but again, that's not my whole business. Like, I don't want to play detective because I don't want to drop some bad stuff.
So this all kind of elaborate situation kind of went over like a 3 or 4 month spell.
This was, I want to say,
with the 5 or 6 dates.
I want to say it was like 5 to maybe 6 months.
So I'm going to ask you the question that I asked Carmen, and I don't know if I even really got an answer or not. So if you're in the get to know stage, mm-hmm. like what you were doing with this woman, obviously, I'm just thinking I know you well enough since you're an old soul that you probably were not doing this. You're probably going to be the exception to the rule. But it's different because usually men don't. Were you talking to any other women at that time, or were you just focused on her?
I was more focused on her, but I was still on Tinder and Bumble and that. So I wasn't physically going
searching for someone.
Right.
You weren't physically going out on any dates with anybody else. If someone messaged you on Bumble or Tinder, you would probably answer them, but you weren't like sitting there every evening like messaging people.
Right. Yeah.
So you were gonna be open to the situation that it could go somewhere. And I'm wondering if she was the opposite. Usually it's the man that does that, I feel like, but
I mean, it could.
It seemed like she was open to other relationships with women while she was seeing you, so it makes me think the tables were turned.
and she never like was like she wasn't actively like on her phone just like going
right because that would just been rude. Yeah, that would have been rude.
But at the same time was I think everybody, their mother, their brother, their sister was on or is on those dating apps.
Right. No, and I didn't. But you answered my question. I mean, you a lot of guys, I think, when they go out with a woman, it's like, for me, I think if I was going to go out with somebody, I would not be entertaining, like, talking to other men and stuff, of that same nature, like lining up a date for 3 days later or 2 days later. Where
it's okay, can we hurry up? I gotta be somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I think like if you're gonna put enough time and effort to even consider going out with that person, because I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. You message me, I'm probably not even gonna talk to you. But if you message me and I talk to you, I'm still probably not gonna go out with you. But if I've got to the point where I'm going out with somebody, you've got my attention.
Yeah, you have.
Like, what's that thing? Shoot your shot, because this is it. Because if we go out and it's a hit or miss situation and it's and it's not good, that's going to be the end of that, and then I'm going to go back and we'll just start over. But
why drag it on for nobody to get anything?
Yeah, nobody's getting anything out of it. But I'm not going to be actively seeking to go out with somebody on Friday, and I'm going out with them on Wednesday night and stuff like that. And so you gave it a good time span to try to see, even though it was weird.
See how it plays out.
Because a lot of people were talking about before, men, they tend to fall in love very quickly, where women, even if they're not physically like, just head over heels in love, once they know your personality, they build feelings, and the more time they spend with you, which I mean, I know there is love at first sight, but for most people, I think it's more about personality. And whether you click or not. So you were giving it that chance.
Yeah, you have to let shit mesh together. Yeah. Like, hey, is this actually going to hold?
Yeah, because your lives may be completely different and not even in no way or shape, form gonna, she might like bowling and you might like watching movies, and y'all are just not gonna clash.
Or, I'm vegan. Oh, I'm sorry, I like T-bone steaks.
Yeah, there you go. Something that's a better analogy.
Well, I have questions for you, but I have to put my glasses on. So
you're gonna give him some written questions.
No, I'm good.
You got written questions. You're not gonna ask. You're gonna.
Oh no, these are written.
Is this gonna pertain to his situation, or is this just gonna be in general?
No, this is a guy. Just to ask.
Yeah, let's ask him some questions. If we have time, we'll let him tell us another story.
So we have never done this before. I've never written anything down. This is the first time ever. So, so recently I was on Facebook, again saying the name. And it was a post, and it was for men to answer, and they wanted men to give relationship advice. So, two women who were looking to start a relationship. So what I want you to do is I want you to tell me whether you agree with any of the following statements or disagree, and why or why not. Okay. So
is this just from a man's perspective?
These are men answers.
So
these are
we're playing Family Feud right now.
Yes,
and the top 100
this is men interested in women.
No.
Or it doesn't matter.
This is
just a man in general.
So the actual thing said, men give women relationship advice.
All right, let me be quiet. Go for
it. So the first man answer. Now there were women answering on this, which made no sense.
That's why I'm asking. Do I get to answer? But no.
No.
No, I don't. I don't think so. No.
You can talk about it.
Well, your buzzer's ready.
I know, but I'm going to say it, and if she wants to add to it, okay. All right. So the first one was honesty, communication, and not keeping secrets.
I agree. Strongly agree.
Okay. The next one was stop chasing bad boys. I know.
Wait a minute.
But that's what they said if they are looking for a relationship.
They're giving
stop chasing bad boys.
He's telling me to stop chasing a bad boy.
Yep. Do you feel like the persona of like they're dating multiple women at the same time, or
okay,
or do you just think like I don't know, like they should give the guy that's not the bad boy to
give the good guy a chance?
Mm-hmm.
I would agree.
Okay.
I'm bad at everything, so.
Well, I mean, I'm good with the bad boy, but I'm not chasing him.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not chasing him either.
Him.
So this one you're going to be really upset with.
Oh dear.
Make the first move.
No.
Do you think do you think times have changed now? Like men are expecting that, or
see, I've done both. I've had I've gone out and I have pursued my first relationship, and then with that last one, she came running up to me.
Yeah,
so I'm kind of like in the middle. But I would say,
like, if you're scared, like you see the guy across the bar and you're like,
and this is not necessarily having to talk about social media and just messaging. This is just talking about it in general, like where she walked up.
I would say agree, and here's why. Because I have been out in public doing whatever, and I see a stunning lady walking the other way, and I have gone up saying, "Excuse me, please don't take this the wrong way. I mean this in the most respectful way, but you are gorgeous. Oh my God, thank you." And then they walk away, and that's how it ends.
Yeah,
it's like, I just had to get it off my chest. It's like, you are hot. But
you're okay for, like, she walked up to you and she might not have been, okay, I'm going to elaborate on this a little bit and ask a little question.
Yeah, no, that's good.
So if she hadn't have walked up to you, do you think you would have approached her that day?
Well, she didn't necessarily approach me. She was just walking down the sidewalk. And
so you approached her?
Yeah.
Okay, so technically you approached her. Okay.
Technically I approached her.
But you're okay. Like if a woman came up and said, "Hey,"
absolutely. Like, I love your mustache. Oh, thank you.
Right?
Yes.
But she's not going to do it, so give that up, guys.
I'm going to ask Hanson on the next cruise if I can I go with you? Like, what are y'all doing today? That sounds like fun.
Oh my God, can I come?
Can I go? See
right.
what happens, yeah.
Okay, so this one was a little weird to me, but he said, make him feel desired, wanted, and respected. I know respect is a big thing for guys, but the wanted and desired thing, is that like you have to have that now?
I don't necessarily have to have that. I would say it's a definite plus.
Oh yeah.
I think if you're in love, yes.
Right.
Yeah, right.
But we're talking about like early in the game is what we're talking about. We're like early, okay.
Like to find that relationship, like a guy wants to know that you want him, that you are like, ready to jump his bones or whatever.
I think that's a turnoff for some people though.
I know.
Some people yes and some people no. Some people who have had bad experiences in the past probably are thinking that, the back of their mind, not wanting to be like, oh my God, I have to jump in with you. That's like step 794.
They don't want to feel smothered by this woman that walks up and like professes her love to you, kind of thing. You don't even know who they are.
I mean, because obviously, Hollywood stereotypes. Oh, he has a 12-pack and he has biceps the size of anacondas or whatever. And me being the physique that I am, kind of feels like, yeah, you could go for Chris Hemsworth, but I'm nice too. I kind of want.
I mean, technically, you have to
adored.
look at the job that you do. You have to be a strong person to be able to do that. That's a lot to handle.
Oh yeah.
So that should be a plus in your department too.
Well, that and also, this sexy fireman calendar.
That's what I'm saying.
They're all fake. Don't look at them. They're all fake.
They're all fake.
Or they're photoshopped severely.
I've seen the firemen in this town and I'm agreeing with that.
There's a what?
What? I said I've seen the firemen in this town and I'm going to agree with it.
All fake. They're all photoshopped.
They're all photoshopped or they're from...
Now there are some cute ones. There are some cute ones. But...
There was a guy that used to work in our department years ago. He now works for a large government entity in the area. And he was Channing Tatum's stunt double.
Oh, wow.
And whenever I worked overtime on their shift, and if we had gone out somewhere or whatever, I remember this so distinctly. We were standing outside the bay. I think we were rolling hose. We were doing something outside. And these two ladies come walking down the street, and Mr. Channing Tatum Jr. is out front. And they look at each other and goes, "I'm gonna go set my house on fire so he can show up."
I ain't gonna lie.
She said that loud enough for everybody to hear. So she was like, "Damn you, fine. I'm gonna go set my house on fire. I need you here now."
I probably would have been the one to say that.
Oh my gosh.
I wouldn't have said that back in the day, but I'd say that now.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I think men now today, like with that statement, with being respected, I feel like men don't feel like they're respected by women anymore. So I think that's a big, big thing.
And I've had
Probably from people like me because I'm so independent. So you
I don't
have
know.
to let your guard down to let them like take the man role, which is showing respect for the man also.
And that, and people are like, oh, I want to go, let's go out to dinner. I want to go to the most expensive place here in town.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can't afford that? Blocked.
Right. That's just rude.
That's
just
I've
rude.
got something in here with that too.
Yeah,
So.
that's rude.
All right.
Oh, you're only chasing after a dinner or a drink.
Yeah,
Exactly.
No.
So the next one was heal your trauma first. So don't bring your trauma into this.
Absolutely agree.
And
Leave your baggage
and
checked.
I've had several men ask me that if I'm past all that.
Right.
My baggage was left when I went out the door.
Mine's on fire.
Oh my gosh. Mine's don't exist. Okay. Delete social media. I thought
Is this,
that was
before,
really
is this before or after you're in a relationship?
No, they just don't want you like
During.
if you like in the
Or
very beginning of
beginning.
it or whatever to delete your social media. I would say put it on pause or something if it bothers
So,
the
You're talking about
person.
if you're dating someone or you're just
Like
talking?
no, to
or?
start a relationship because apparently in relationships now they're saying that social media is one of the biggest downfalls.
Oh, I feel like it played a part in the downfall of my relationship.
Yeah.
Long time
I
ago.
can see why that would be a big thing or big deal breaker for some people, but I can also see like Instagram is all lies. Instagram is fake stuff. Oh, I'm on the top of the pyramids, blah blah. You're a piece of junk because you're not here.
Yeah.
But if some people are like wild and crazy about that, absolutely. Like, oh my god, I have to take pictures of every meal I have.
Right.
No, I don't care for that kind of crap.
Right.
But if you have a Facebook profile and you're talking to like your grandmother, that's states away, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, leave it. It's fine. It's not
Right.
like
You're
I don't
pictures.
feel threatened by
Right.
you talking to your family or friends or whatever.
And I'll chime in on that one because let's say, I'm going out with somebody and I don't want to be disrespectful for them. I'm not going to be openly I'm not going to be looking in those messages and messaging guys back. And heck, I don't even do that shit now. I don't even do that. I mean, I have everybody's on red. Well, or not on red. They're still sent.
Not
on
open.
Sent. They're on sent. They're not on red.
There's also another thing to that. Somebody's blowing your phone. Shut up.
Yeah.
No.
You can. I mean,
I'm talking to somebody.
Yeah.
Said.
Yeah.
Well,
Four words.
For the most part, with the messages, I probably just wouldn't say anything, and those people will eventually stop. I had a guy.
We'll take the hit.
I had a guy in Texas. He talked to himself for 3 months, but
Oh my gosh, you read it! I have to say something immediately.
Yeah. Every time I would log on, I guess it would show that I was online, and it would be, hey. I mean, the second that I went online, I'm like, oh man. But eventually, if you just
that gives everybody else a bad rap.
Yeah, so if you just leave it, and obviously he was just way too young anyway. I can't get rid of my son or whatever.
Yes, being persistent is a thing, but when it gets to stalker area,
I think it goes back to what you were saying about be respectful.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, which it's totally I give.
Oh Lord.
Leave your exes alone.
Yes. Strongly
Yes.
agree.
Are you gonna drink or can I?
No, you have it. You go ahead.
Stand
Not like
that
we don't
shit.
have cooties.
I'm like,
each other's.
we need another drink.
Oh my god, my ex-boyfriend took me to this restaurant. It's so nice. Oh my god, my ex-boyfriend bought me this dress. Oh my god, it's great. Do you want to talk to him or do you want to talk to me?
Right.
You pick one.
But here we go.
Yes.
I got my 2 cents to add to this one too. He is correct because when I was separated, my ex decided to date.
Mhm.
And he told me that the first lady that he went out with did not want to see him because she told him that he was not over me because that's what he did. He talked about me or compared things to me.
Yes.
And they don't want to hear
Oh
that.
my god, you like sparkling water? My ex also likes sparkling water. He's like,
no.
dude, I don't care.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up.
Yeah. So I would agree with that too.
Mine was totally different, but we're not going to talk about that. Okay, so let's see. Don't insist on being a queen. It's a relationship. He's not here to serve you.
My 2 cents on
It's
that
supposed
one
to be-
too.
yeah, but some people are into that.
Well, maybe.
Some people like being, the footstool to the other.
See, and I never was. I was the one that did everything for him, give or take. And this time I want somebody to baby me.
Right.
I want somebody to think what I'm think ahead.
But I think most women right now are like, treat me good, treat me good, treat me good, do this for me, buy this for me.
See, I've never had that. See, but I've never had that, and so I fall in that category. And everybody thinks I just like when we were joking about the bets and things like that about the application fee and all that. I mean, it's a joke, but really and truthfully, well, shit. But anyway,
my thing is,
I do want something different this time. I want to try it and see what it's like that way. I've never had that attention. Never had it.
My thing is, if I have somebody who I am in a serious relationship, who I love, near, dear, gratefully, adore, whatever, I have this thing where, God, this is going to sound so objective. It sounds kind of awful. I call
we
it.
want
I
the
call
guy's
it,
view, so
I
you
call
got to
it-
give it to us.
Now, this is me. This is not like everybody.
Oh yeah,
Everybody that
we understand.
I call it the trophy case. If somebody I hold near to my heart, you're on top of the trophy case,
Right.
and I want to protect.
See, and that's
And I
where I
want
want to
to-
be because I've never had that. I just want to feel that once in my life.
Right, and I want to be like, hey, if anything jeopardizes that, there's a problem.
Right.
But at the same time,
I'm not taking advantage of you, but
right. Like, there's a point to be like, hey, you're top of my priorities. You're important to me, but
the feelings still have to be reciprocated.
yes, I'm not making love to a wall.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The
Yes.
feelings still have to be reciprocated, and the respect also.
Yeah. Like, oh, slave.
It's
I
it's
need
not
another
okay.
drink.
So here it is. So like I say, I want these things, but if I was in the relationship, I don't want to have to make you feel like that you have to do that, or
Constantly.
I don't want to tell you what you have to do. I just want that person to want to do those things for me.
Right.
Like if I say something and they realize that I like something, then that's what they'll go get for me. I'm like, well, you didn't get me that. I don't want to be like that. If you don't get me anything, I'm fine. If you don't get me, I'm used to not getting anything. If you get me something, I don't give a shit if you pick the damn flower off the ground. That you thought to do that for me will mean a lot for me.
Effort.
Yes, effort.
That's the
It's
fun
not about
thing.
just the financial.
That's the fun
Anybody
thing.
can. I mean,
that
car.
I could pick up on shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, my favorite color is purple.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna find everything that's purple in the world and give it to you.
Oh.
But if somebody's like across the bar being flirtatious or whatever, be like, hey, over here, I'm not gonna see that. I'm not gonna pay any attention whatsoever to that. But if you say, hey, I like this, gotcha, fam. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. Because it's not expected.
So this is going to go back to what you were saying. And this is what I was saying. So quit ignoring men because they are not tall, rich, and handsome.
I'm not either of those things.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like,
yes.
they're not giving they're only looking for the buff guy
Yeah.
or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, and,
Give everybody a chance.
Yeah,
Yes.
nobody's going to be a supermodel. Nobody's going to be
Exactly.
the pinnacle of.
disagree.
I
We're gonna start doing the hair flips.
am. But I would agree with don't go chasing bodybuilders because they have prima donna,
Mhm.
mentality of God knows what. But yes, people I cannot stand people who are like this. People who are really, 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 I would say, in love with themselves to the point where they have to hold the mirror up constantly. Like, oh my God, my hair. Oh my God, it looks so amazing today. And they don't put that shit down.
Right.
Yeah.
You can kiss yourself in
Shallow.
the mirror all you
They're
want.
shallow.
It's just,
Yeah. I mean, I think there has to be first there has to be some. I've talked about this before too. There has to be, to some extent, some physical attraction, and that's where I run into a problem with the dating sites because if you only swipe for the ones that you're physically attracted to, you're not even going to get a chance to get to know the person that you might not have been as attracted to physically, but they have a killer personality and it makes them more attractive.
Yep.
Because, I mean, obviously,
You can be a 10 on the outside and be a 3 on the inside.
Exactly.
You can be a 3
Exactly.
on the outside.
So,
be
and
a
that's what you
fucking
don't,
million.
and that's what you don't get from a dating site. You don't get that conversation. You don't get that one-on-one experience. You're looking at a physical, like I can go, oh, he's hot. He's probably an ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he thinks he's hot too. And he's thinking every woman's going to be chasing after him. And I'm definitely not going to chase after him. So there's going to be 9 other women lined up to chase after him. And I'm going to be the one going over here and going, okay, y'all have fun.
But I am visual. I am more like a man in that aspect because I want to look and be attractive.
Well, I mean, I said you have to have an
a
attraction.
little tiny
Oh,
bit
I mean,
of-
you got to have a little more. I mean, you got there's got to be some sort of attraction, and then build from it with personality.
Yeah.
But what I think happens is, like, I think if you were going to meet somebody, like all these car shows and all this stuff we go to, somebody walks up to me, I'm going to hear them talking or hear how they speak or how they treat people, and before or even after I've met them, there's gonna be an attraction.
Why is he giggling?
I don't know.
I have the perfect.
He's got a scenario.
The perfect thing that happened. This was after the second girl. This is really quick too.
Was she the second girl or the first girl? Are we counting the fiance?
We're not counting the fiance. Second girl of dating.
Yeah, second girl of dating. So this only lasted 30 minutes.
Oh,
snap. This is fast. So we swipe, Tinder, got matched, whatever, small talk, whatever. Hey, let's go. Want to go get drink, go get food, whatever. Yeah. Sure, cool. So we go to this little mom and pop, little Italian bistro place and sit down, get a table and small talk, chit chat, and the waiter comes over. It's like, oh, hello, welcome to blah, 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 blah. Can I get you anything? And she asked for, like a super specific, it wasn't even like an alcoholic drink. It was like a sparkling water with something ridiculous. I can't even remember what it was. But the waiter, in a very calm and very polite way, is, I'm sorry, we don't have that here. Oh, she turned like she was looking at the menu and she snapped and turned like he had insulted her entire bloodline.
Red flag.
And like I could see the daggers coming out of her eyes. Ooh. Like, I want that. And the waiter just turns at me and I look at him and go,
he's like, good luck with that one. Good luck with this one.
And like, he's like, dude, help. I'm like, would you like something else? Maybe, with another sparkling water or whatever. Mm-hmm. She's like, I guess I'll just have tap water because that's all they have here. And I go,
obviously,
wow.
It's a restaurant. They have more than just tap water.
Exactly. And I say, I just want, an iced tea or whatever. He's like, okay, I will go get that for you, and I shall return quickly. And he turns around and walks away. And
did you go to the restroom and leave? I mean, wouldn't be the first
time. I may or may not have done that.
He did.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, hey, what was that? It's like, they didn't have what my favorite drink was. I should have my favorite drink here. Did
you take your medication?
This is a
right?
Do
you have to have that with your medication?
Yeah. Whenever I go to an Italian restaurant, they always have this. It's like, well, this is it. You're not Barbie, and this isn't Barbie Land. I'm sorry, the world doesn't.
Was this in a town that she lived in, or did she come to
this
a town?
This was in a town she lived in, so I traveled out of my way to go.
So she probably would have eaten there before.
Probably. I mean, I did quickly like Google search, like, hey, what good restaurants are there? And I picked that one. She's like, okay, I've been there before. Like,
yeah.
Cool.
So you should know that they don't have that there.
And it doesn't matter. If she flipped out on a waiter on your first,
like, if you
that should be on your
that is a monstrous red flag.
You just got hit in the head with one of those cones or something. Like that
was a 2x4 before I say run.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I mean, you're supposed to be on your best behavior. I mean, not fake, but be on. Some people. The persona I'm trying to say they put on a different air because they want to make a good impression, and they instead of just being themselves, they get a little worked up and kind of. But she didn't.
I mean, I was always raised like, hey, treat people the way you want to be treated.
Respectful, yeah.
And same like restaurant staff, hotel staff, whoever, people who change your oil.
Can you
nice
imagine
service
how
industry?
Right? Like they take care of you. You are there to do X, Y, Z.
Oh no, she had some really high expectations.
And somebody who is unbearably cruel to people who are in that industry. No, I cannot.
So was she?
Cannot.
Okay, let's go back.
But she was
she hot?
she was smoking.
Yeah, there you
Oh
go.
my gosh,
See, there's I'm talking about the guy that's like
amazing.
He's
but
an
she
ass.
had a personality like a dumpster.
Yep.
Like, oh my
and that's
god!
what I'm saying. You get the guy that's hot, and you're just woo, and then he's just an ass. I mean, same way with her. She was just nasty. Okay, because she just wants her way. She feels entitled.
And
Yep, she's
I
entitled.
deserve everything.
Yep,
Going back to the queen
sorry.
thing.
There
you
you
go.
No.
Okay, so this one's really quick, but I do agree because this is what we were just talking about. Stop asking for money.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh my God, I need to get my nails done. Can I borrow $120?
Yeah, it's just been it just recently became a joke.
I need to buy a car part.
I need a supercharger for my car.
I'm not gonna lie. Some of my guy friends have told me I should ask for money, but I've never done it. But it's kind of a running joke with her and her application fee, and like us gonna ask. We said last time on the last show we were gonna message people and ask them for money, just see if we get anything. Nothing's gonna come of that. But yeah, we're not out for their
Now,
money.
if I had a sugar mama, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
But no.
So yeah, stop asking for money,
Stop
please.
asking for money.
Stop doing that. So the next one is stop wearing all the makeup and be natural.
Oh my God. Strongly agree. If you have more like craters in your face, okay, that's, if you feel more comfortable with touching up, that's fine. But to the point where you are physically melting outside, no, I'm not here to date.
Mascara's running down your face.
I'm not here to date a wax sculpture.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I get it.
No.
Well, I'm out. Okay.
Yeah, I got a little bit more on that.
I have 10 pounds
wear,
I have 10 pounds of makeup on.
yeah, I don't like to wear a lot of makeup either. So
Because there's also that, okay, if you go home and you
Take
wipe
off
all
his
that
makeup.
off and you turn
Do you
and
not
you see,
recognize the
you don't
person?
recognize
Do
who
you
that
not recognize
is.
the
Well, everybody tells me I look better without makeup, but I don't care. This is how I feel good, so this is what
Right, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you.
But if I'm going outside and I'm going to be sweating, I'm not going to wear as much as I have on. I promise you. So anyway, next thing. Here we go, because that's a sore subject with me. Okay,
Yeah.
quit making the relationship all about you and only wanting to do what you want to do.
I strongly agree.
Yes,
Because it is a partnership. It is not a dictatorship.
I feel like there's so many relationships like that, just all one-sided, and so that person goes and does everything for that other person,
And that's the way it used to be for me. It used to be
Like, hey, let's go
what,
do this, this, this.
what he wanted to do, when he wanted to do
What
it,
do you want?
whatever.
I don't know.
Yeah. And so that's kind of like the thing for me now. I do like a man who is a manly man that makes decisions and things like that. But I also like one that doesn't mind asking me. At least ask me. Even if I don't give you the input, at least just ask me, what would you like to do? Not just plan everything they want to do. And in my past relationship, like literally he would ask me for a long time, he would ask me every once in a while what I wanted to do. And I learned, I'm like the kid being hit on the baseball field. Like after you've been hit twice, you learn not to chase after the ball. But, he'd ask me a couple of times and we would do it. And you could just tell he was miserable.
Did not want to do
And
that.
when they're miserable, then I'm miserable. Okay.
Mhm.
So I would rather do the things that he wanted to do because then he was happy.
Mhm.
So that's why you hear me say, I want someone who wants to do some things that I want to do, who's willing to give and take, and who puts me first.
Right.
Because I never had that.
I think you have to do the same things and not be miserable.
It's got to
Right.
be compromised.
But
Yeah.
the last of that, the one, there was one guy that said, sit down and shut up.
Ooh.
And so every woman answered him after that and said, that's not how you talk to a woman. But do you have any other advice for women? Because I know women are going to be looking at us. That's our highest group of people that watch this.
Going on the thing of doing what he does and taking charge, making a decision. On the flip side of that is, what do you want to have for dinner tonight? I don't know. Okay, how about this? No. How about that?
That's what he did.
No.
That's what he did.
How about this? No, we did
That's
that
what he
last
did.
week.
He did that. That's
And
why
I would go through the phone book.
Yep.
And go all
Yep.
the way down. And
I'm like, then why
all
didn't
the
you
way
just
up.
choose? You choose.
Mhm.
And then he'd go,
And
okay.
then I pick something.
No.
Pick again. What do you mean pick again? Pick again.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the kid on the ball field that got hit twice decides not to chase the ball. You've been told, you tell me to do it. I ask, it's no. I say another one, no. I'm not going to say a third one. Just fucking pick what you want to pick and we'll go do it. I'm not going to fight it.
But I do feel like there might be one person that's all about this certain thing, and they expect that person to go and do it all the time.
Somebody who wants somebody on a leash.
Yes.
Essentially, like, hey, we're going to do this. Come
Look at my
me.
puppy, because this is my puppy
It was
coming
me.
along with
I was
me.
the puppy.
Right. So.
It's the passenger princess.
Yes. Oh Lord, I hate that word too. So, but
I'm never a passenger princess anymore.
I am not a passenger princess.
No, with the cars that you have, yeah, no, you're
No.
not a passenger princess.
No. I don't aspire to that. I don't want that.
I was a passenger princess in my own car for like 15 years. I bought a Z06 and I never had to drive it. And I never had to drive it. Yeah. So that's why I bought my Shelby, and then that turned in you're not supposed to drive it either, and that's when I was like,
I bought it.
I started.
It's mine.
Yeah, this was my second go round, and then that's when I started like pushing back because it was just like everything. There was nothing that could be my way. Nothing.
God, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
You bought a GT350. Oh, you can't drive it.
Oh, and I bought a Z06. I bought that car because I saw it go down the assembly line, and I'd never seen a Z06. And I had 2 Corvettes, and I had a C5 at the time, and I was watching the C6s go down in Bowling Green, and a Z06 went by, and the flared fenders, the wide fenders, and I was like, ooh, that one stands.
She's got hips.
I was like, that one stands out. I mean, it looked the stance of the car. I could tell it was, I always want the better of the, whatever the choice is. And I was like, ooh, I like that. And I was self-employed at the time. And he's like, you can get that. You should get that. Mm-hmm. So I went home. I got on the phone and I bought the car in Georgia. It was between that and Maxi Price up in New Jersey. And they had one of the ones down in Georgia. And I can't even think what the dealership is now. But I went down there and bought it. They bought my car over the phone, my C5, drove down there. He drove it home.
And then it became his.
And it became his.
Yeah.
And, I just literally, I think I might have drove the car around the block a couple of times. I drove it uptown one time, but not for very long, to go meet somebody and give him some tickets. He happened not to be home, and I think he had a fit because I drove it up there. And so I always had sports cars. So for like 15 years, I had not had a 6-speed, and so I went out and bought the Shelby. And then thinking he can drive his car, because I now classified it as his car, and I'll drive mine. And then we were going to go to a Cars and Coffee that was, I would say it was like 65, 70 miles away. And he was like, where are you going? And I'm like, I'm getting in the car. And he's like, well, you're not riding with me? And I'm like, no, I want to take my car. And he's like, well, okay, I'll drive. And I'm like, no. I bought this car to drive. He's like, yeah, we're going to drive it, but we're not going to take both of them. And I'm like, no, I'm going to drive my car. And that's when I started. Myself. And that's when I started getting a lot. I was already having issues though with all kinds of other stuff, but it was to the point then where I had decided this was going to be the make it or break it point, and it was like, I'm going to enjoy this car, And it was like,
did you pay for it? No.
And then all I was allowed to do was drive it across town to my Cars and Coffee. He would drive his car, I would drive my car, and that was the extent of it. And I'm like, this is not working for me. And like I said, there was a lot of other issues, other stories and stuff, things that went down. There was my dad's health, his dad's health, my medical issues. And then on top of just how being treated and the whole situation with the car and all that, and it just was too much.
Yeah.
So
that is a dictatorship.
Right.
A lot of people classify it as a narcissist.
Yep. I agree. I strongly agree with that.
And I did not know. I did not know what that was at the time. I just was so confused, and I had believed marriage was for life, and I was trying to make the damn best of it. And it just, I think once I got the medical diagnosis that I got, and I lost my dad, and then a certain particular incident happened, just like you're either going to be in a bad situation living in the home, or you're going to be in a bad situation not living in the home, and so you have to make a decision. And so the decision was kind of made for me. So anyway, but it would be nice if somebody would, sweep me off my feet and want to do things for me, not have to expect them or ask for them. I mean, I'm not going to ask you to do it, kind of thing. But I've had a couple guys message me and want me to go places with them and do things that they like to do, which would be things I would like to do. But then they would rather do those things than come see me. So therefore, I'm not first, and I want to be first this time.
Not an afterthought.
So I don't want anything.
I'm not
just reiterating that.
I'm
again,
not
wanting
well, I mean,
anything.
I'm not saying I'm going to find it, but I'm not their person. I'm not their person. They're not at the point. We're not meshing.
They're going. Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, I wonder if
Yeah.
Stephanie will like that. Not like, hey, Stephanie likes this. Hey, let's go do that.
Yeah.
Not
And
out of order.
Yeah.
It's out of order.
Yeah. So, and I understand that they don't think that way because I've been through the situation that I've been in that made me this way, and they have not. And they don't. Their way of thinking is completely different. It was kind of like I was telling you, the guy that's expecting the same thing that I'm looking for. I'm not his person, But it is what it is. I may never find that person, but that's okay.
Well, so I'm going to ask you a question. So when Carmen was here,
Mhm.
she said no men talk to her. Like she's just, no one comes up to her. And I said, that's pretty much me too. So now behind a computer, they'll talk to me.
Right.
But they're not coming up to me like when we're out or whatever. And so what advice would you give to women? Because everybody always says because you're intimidating.
No, it's RBF.
And apparently. I don't know.
There have been times where I've been like at Savage, hanging out, doing whatever, and I see somebody who is all my kinds of cute. If she's sitting by herself, I'm afraid to go walk over there and say something.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it because we're there, or is it because?
Oh no, I've done it in front of
any of us.
other people in the group before, but it's like it's not fear of rejection. It's more of the fear of. God, what's a good way to freaking put it? I guess it is rejection would be the best way to put it.
Being embarrassed.
Or embarrassed.
Being
awkward, something like that. Because
I mean, she could say, "Well, my husband's inside."
Like my husband's inside.
My boyfriend.
You have to watch them for a little while before you start approaching.
You do. You do.
This was years and years ago. I was at 5 Points. God damn it. I was in the Capitol at a pet-friendly bar. And it was I think right when I got Dax, because I want to, get him used to lots of people, acclimated people, whatever. And I was sitting at the table. He was running around playing. I was watching like a game or something on TV. And beautiful girl sitting by herself on her phone doing whatever. And I go, fuck it, why not? Walk over. Hey. I just want to say, you are drop dead gorgeous, and if you would like me, I would love to buy you a drink. She looks up from her phone, looks me up and down, and says, "Ew."
No.
Yeah, and granted, it's college town, so I assume she was very young. She just goes, "Ew." I go, "Thanks." Turn around, walk.
Oh, that's not nice.
Yeah, don't be mean.
That was crushing. That just goes,
cool.
Okay, that's why I don't walk up to people.
Yeah.
Because
that's
you
nasty.
can
the men are expected to do this, and I think when you're shot down so many
over
times,
and over and over again,
like
it gets like,
See, there's
why
different
do I
ways.
try?
She could have just said,
No
sure.
thanks.
First she could have just said sure. Even if she just, just being nice, just have some conversation. She's there by herself. Or two, she could have said, well, I appreciate it, but I'm not really interested. I'm not really, I just want to sit here by myself and enjoy, some time.
That would have been nicer than ew.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe another time or something like that. But yeah, that's just to say something like that.
And I'm all for, especially, ladies who have, who don't feel comfortable in their own skin, whatever, and they think that, oh, I'm not pretty, I'm not a Barbie, I'm not whatever.
See, and that's, I don't see, I'm like that.
See, you're gorgeous.
Oh.
See,
but I'm like that. I look in the mirror and I don't like what I see.
I'm all for like flaunt it if you got it. Be girl boss. Be good. And I know guys don't think like, oh, she's a dump truck.
Well, I'm a confident person, but I'm not confident. Like I'm not. It's not about look. It's just about being in control of myself, being independent for so long, and having to take care of people. That like I jump into situations that other people wouldn't. I feel comfortable like knowing that I can take care of myself if I have to because I've had to, but it's not about looks for me. Yeah.
And I'm all for like, oh yeah, you. Oh my God, people who think they are the hottest, greatest gift that God has ever made, but Jabba the Hutt looks better than you do.
Like, I know some people like that.
Yeah. And that's
I'm all for having a positive body image, but
that goes back to what I'm saying.
Somewhat realistic.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying, going back to the dating apps. If you go
filters and
if you
fakes.
But even if you go
catfishing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I see a lot of like even with the
I have a great story for that.
But even like with the men and stuff, they'll post a younger photo and then if you look to the end, you'll see the older one. And that's fine. They feel more comfortable posting those photos. But if you base it off of looks, you're probably going to get what you got, and that, and she could, but the thing is, if you hadn't approached her though, and I commend you for doing that.
We would have never known.
You would have never known because you could have just as easily walked up to her, met her, had a drink, and married her 2 years later, and you wouldn't have known.
I know. That's why.
But guess what? She has to live with the horrible person that she is, with that type of personality.
Making somebody else miserable.
Yes.
Right.
But that type of personality, I'm telling you, that shit, karma will get you every time.
That's why the what if game sucks.
Yeah,
so
it does.
Bad.
It does.
Oh, I hate the what if game.
It does. So, all right. So we only have time for probably another quick story.
Okay.
And
the catfishing story.
Yeah.
This was fairly recently. I want to say like the last year or two, give or take.
Okay.
So, again, on dating app, found drop dead gorgeous girl, matched, whatever, chit chatted. Hey, she lived towards Charleston way. It's like, hey, I know this Italian restaurant, mom and pop place, the same place that Princess wanted to go to.
Okay.
It's like, okay, I'll try going there again, whatever. And set a date, set a time, and I'm trying to be there early because it's a popular place. It's a small place. Like, it's not much bigger than here. It's tiny.
Those are usually the really
so
good places.
So good. It's so delicious. So I get a table, go sit down, and there's a bar against the wall, whatever. And there's a guy who looks like a mix what's the good way to put this? He looks like a rat, a weasel, and a ferret, and a child.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, no. And
I thought you were going to say he's biracial, and you were trying to figure out what nationalities he was. I didn't know what rat and a weasel and all this. Okay.
And
Hilary could probably tell you about those.
And
she's mentioned that a couple times.
His face looked like leopard print, but it was all like pimples and not warts.
This was the bartender?
No. This was somebody sitting at the bar.
Okay.
And the only reason why I paid attention to this guy,
he could have been the nicest person ever.
Was because when I was walking in, he was staring at me. Like, I was just in, polo, shorts, whatever. Not like dressed up like Elton John.
Right.
I wasn't anything crazy. So I'm like, why is this guy staring at me? Why? What is happening?
He was not the one.
He probably thought he was probably interested in you.
So I'm sitting at the table and the waiter comes by.
Drinks, he's the catfish.
No, it gets way worse.
Oh Lord!
So my phone goes off. Hey, I'll be there. 5 minutes, traffic, whatever. Yeah, no problem. I'm at the table all the way in the back. in the back corner. Okay, perfect. I'll be right there. And going by the photos of this girl on this.
Was she hot or was she just a normal, good
She was normal.
girl?
She was good looking. She was.
Had good conversation?
Yes, she was. Ooh, excuse me. Healthy, healthy relationships, not like, I've had 7 boyfriends and my ex-husband's trying to kill me.
She seemed normal.
Yes, seemed normal. And I'm, looking at my phone going, okay, so curly hair, dimples, okay, cute, okay, waiting for the door to open, looking. And this girl walks in and, I see the curly hair, I go, okay, I think that's her. But she keeps walking in, and the door's been open for 3 minutes, and she's still walking in. 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 And I think my car was smaller than she was.
Oh no! That's not what she was like in the pictures.
She ate the girl that was in the pictures.
Oh no! Did she even look like her in the face? Was it? I mean, was she? Did she all have? She had headshots. So she filtered this. It was her. She just filtered the size of her face.
She was She was head to toe, just
heavy girl.
No. She was like in between. She was full figure. She was
right.
She was very pretty.
So she looked good.
She looked very, very good in the photos.
Okay.
But in reality.
That's what I'm saying. Was she a really heavy girl?
So what did she do? Filter all the photos to be skinny or smaller or what?
I don't know what she did to her photos. It could have been older photos. And of course, I see her walking in, and then I turn and look, and the guy sitting at the bar hard turns and sees her walking in. Okay. Is he gonna jump her or something? What the hell? And so I go hey, over here, whatever. And she, turns, walks around. She has to physically move the chairs and move the tables to get around, say her way back in. She sits down. Hey, it's nice to meet you. Hey, nice to meet you too. Chit chat, whatever.
Were y'all close in age?
Yeah, she was. I think she was 6 months, maybe a year older than me.
Okay.
And chit chatting, polite, nice, and this guy sitting at the bar was getting more and more, fidgety, more edgy. You could tell he was sulking, just really losing his marbles sitting at the bar, staring at us completely like I'm going to axe murder you right now.
Please don't tell me that's her husband.
So,
oh dear.
So waiter comes by, takes our order, and just chit chatting. Oh, what's dating world been like? Oh, it's been hot. Hot garbage. How about you? Yep, it's been awful for me too. And I see we were sitting for 5 minutes. This guy, and she must have thought I was a gecko because my eye was on her and my eye was on him. We were switching back and forth. So she kind of picked up on her, what are you looking at? And he stands up like he's about to go to war on somebody, and he marches over to our table, and he points his ferret snout in my face, and he says, "You're never going to be good enough for her."
That's her father.
No, worse. And before I could say anything, I hear her voice. It's over, Clarence. Leave me alone.
It's her ex.
And I turn and I look at her going what? What the hell happened? And
how did he know that you were going to have him told him?
So she and he turned and they were bickering back and forth you never gave me a chance, you never did this, blah 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 blah, XYZ. And it's starting to get, a little louder.
You have this pattern about people fighting when you go out on a date.
No, and they're not fighting over me. and I'm, slowly starting to back up a little bit, I'm getting away from this if this gets too violent. And I'm looking around and everybody and their mother and their brother's turning and staring, watching this soap opera go on. And I wasn't really paying attention to what he was saying, but he had said something that got her so angry that she shot up from the chair, turned, and like hockey style checked him and threw him over the chair, over the table, crashing down onto the ground. And everybody turns and looks at him on the ground, the table flipped over, candles, silverware,
I'm dying.
You've not been back to that Italian restaurant, have you?
No, never been back there. And everything is just this whole blur of just obscenities and tablecloths flying. And I go, nope. Get up and walk away, walk out the door, and never,
Oh my gosh.
never have been there ever again. Never.
This is that same restaurant?
Uh-huh.
Oh my
And he said the food was good. That sucks. Maybe in about a year you could go back. Maybe nobody will recognize you.
I have done my research, and that restaurant has unfortunately closed.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure
that's
that
not
was why it
That might be
closed.
why. That might be why.
Because then it was literally like watching a wrestling match in front of me happening.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh. So
I'm sure she was a lovely person and a lovely individual,
needless to
but holy
Yep.
mother of God, that was a
So
nightmare.
needless to say, you didn't contact her anymore.
She never did either.
You didn't go out with her again. Did you finish your meal?
No.
You never.
I never got her meal.
order. You
You
never
didn't
even
order.
ordered.
We got bread and water, and I think I got like
Bread and water.
an iced tea or something. And it
You didn't even get the sparkling water.
sparkling water. No, I didn't. Ooh, I did not want to play that Russian roulette
That's
game.
funny.
Oh
But
my gosh.
yeah, so you think, oh, the dating game is so god awful. And yes, it is, but it has its valleys and
I'm sure you
peaks
have
and
some
it's
good
great and all.
stories too.
That's better than
But
the fart
my
story.
God, it is a cluster when it goes to, hey, okay, I'm meeting somebody from online to, is this going to be great? Or is it going to turn into WrestleMania 39?
See, that's what I'm scared of. I would rather just meet someone somewhere in an oddball place and
Well, right.
maybe entertain the idea of going out. But
Serendipity, just like
Yeah,
you said.
serendipity.
I can't do the dating out. That I just can't do it. No. So
I think that's the thing, though. We've watched so many shows and movies, and we want that, just
Love
chance
at first
meeting,
sight,
yes,
yeah.
and you want that.
Yeah.
But I think it's a big
I
farce.
mean, my parents, they met in high school sweethearts forever and ever and ever. I thought, that's great. That's what I want.
yeah, and you thought you were going to have that
I
for
thought I was going to have that.
Because
And then
did
I'm
y'all
like,
were y'all high school? Did y'all go to high school together?
No.
No.
We went to.
But you were still young enough.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
still. Yeah, we were the same class, just different schools.
I never thought I'd be divorced, but it just I wound up being divorced. But oh my gosh, this has been so much fun. And there's
I
probably,
told you.
and there's probably more stories you could tell us. So we'll have to
there's a
do.
plethora.
We'll have to do this again. So Hillary, you got anything?
Maybe
you
we
want-
can come to you next time.
I know,
We're talking
we're-
about traveling
Ooh,
and
doing
doing
some
Traveling.
other venues
Yes.
and other things, interviewing or whatever. So
I think I have a space, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think we know someone who has a quote. I'm not going to even say what they call that because the guys we're talking about it. I'm not going to mention that because that has an innuendo attached to it.
Just,
So yeah, I'm not
We'll
going
have
to
to
say
hear
that.
about that after.
Yeah. I realized what I was getting ready to say. It was like, no, I'm not. No, there's a connotation that goes along with that. So I'm gonna just stay clear of that one. So, but do you have anything you want to ask Hanson before we
No,
wrap up?
I mean, I
Please,
think I
ask
asked
whatever.
everything that I was going to ask. I kind of wanted a guy's perspective
Yeah.
as far as that goes. I'm not interested in dating, but we're trying to help Stephanie.
Oh, is
So-
that what we're doing?
So-
I think we're trying to help Stephanie just stay alive here and,
Oh my
and,
gosh.
and learn, why
Well,
things are
and-
the way they are.
I think that some of the women probably that watch, some of them have been in relationships and they've not gone well, and they want to know why, or I don't know that you can answer those questions, but
I mean,
Well, see, I don't want to be like Hanson and start going out with these people and wind up getting killed over something like this.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to
you
stay
need to be
alive.
packing now.
Yeah.
I need to be a little pickier.
never leave the house without a little extra something.
Yeah.
All right.
But I mean, my
It's a little safer for a man.
my mother is always, and I know mama's boy, whatever. My mom has always said, "You get what you put out." If you put out good intentions, good vibes, you should, in relationships, some way, somewhere in the universe, you should receive, good vibes, good intentions, whatever. But man, I do not put out crazy, but I apparently attract
Yeah,
crazy.
you gotta go through a couple of oohs and ews before you get to the right one. Ew, and that what she said, ew, or something.
Yeah,
you know,
a lot of ews. But
yeah, you shouldn't have to do that. But I kind of agree with Mom. You gotta weed through them or whatever and find your one, find your person. So.
Well, I do believe like being good does do that, but I also think that me being good attracts all of the weirdos, so that's why.
You have to pick your right kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I like a weirdo, but I don't like those kinds of weirdos. Maybe that's yeah.
Dr. Seuss,
Mm-hmm.
he always said, you have to be odd to be number one.
Yes.
Okay, folks, we're out of time. I mean,
and on that note,
we will definitely, like I said, we will have to do this again, and we will let Hanson tell us some more stories. And I'm gonna be honest with you. By then, I'll have some more of my own stories to say. I've been trying to keep some of my stories under wrap, but anyway. And Hilary, you should have some by then. But
I have plenty of stories, but I got tired of all at the very beginning. I was the only one talking. I said to her kind of quietly when you were talking about that, I said, that's better than my fart story.
I heard you. I just didn't want to elaborate.
But I don't know that anybody else heard it because I kind of said quietly.
We all heard. We just kept on moving.
Yeah. No, that's way better. The checking thing,
those
that's
were
awesome.
good.
She was like an NFL linebacker. I
my
swear.
gosh. Okay. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, that was really good. So.
See, some people like it rough, but just not in the restaurant. No.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
It was good meeting you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's been a lot of fun. We'll have to do it again soon. And y'all keep sending in your requests to come out on the show and join us. Hanson messaged me and got him on the air, and we will do this again really soon. But like I said, if you would like to join us in the studio and be on the podcast, just email us at thehardtruthpodcast@hotmail.com. And until next week, have a good one. Good night.
Good night.
See ya.